then leave this Zoom link. All right, I'd like to bring our meeting to order, and we are going to go into executive session. I'm bringing the meeting to order of January 26th, 2026. I'm going to bring the executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21. We're going to be meeting via Microsoft Teams to discuss the following: PFAS litigation, Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to the potential litigation of an open meeting, which may have a detrimental effect on the litigation position of the public body, and the chair so declares. Also, we will be discussing D. Kenny versus the Town of Dartmouth, Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to litigation when an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on litigation position of the public body, and the chair so declares. Also, contract amendment for Deputy Police Chief B. Morency, Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel or contract negotiations with non-personnel. Next, all unions, collective bargaining, Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to the collective bargaining if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares. And then we will be discussing 970 Tucker Road, Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A6, to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property if the chair declares that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body. In addition to those items, we will also be reviewing and approving the executive session minutes of September 29th, 2025, October 6th, 2025, October 20th, 2025, December 15th, 2025, and January 6th, 2026.
And then this meeting's being recorded, and because we're virtual, every vote will be taken via roll call.
And also at this time, Mr. Tattlebaum is absent from our meeting tonight.
And excuse me, and I'll remind you all that when you discuss that last issue, 970 Tucker Road, I will recuse myself and I'll leave the meeting, and I'll just sign on to the regular meeting, and I'll see you then. After.
Okay, thank you, Stanley.
Right, great.
All right, do I have a
Need a
motion?
motion? I make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Motion made by Chris O'Neill, seconded by Mr. McDonald. In favor, Mr. Mickelson,
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill,
Yes.
Mr. McDonald,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes as well. Thank you. We return to regular section as close to 6:30. That will be on a Zoom meeting. We just finished our executive session and we are back on January 26, 2026. Our select board meeting is taking place via Zoom due to the storm. And we had posted it last week that this is how it would happen. Tonight, all our members are here, except for David Tattlebaum, who cannot make it. And therefore, we will be taking a auditory roll when we make a motion and when we vote. Of course, we know it's all being recorded. And I'm just going to bring up, as we always do, our pledge to the flag. So I'm just going to hold it for us. And if we could stand to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all.
for all. Thank you. Please remain standing, those of you who are, for a moment of silence in bringing in thoughts of our veterans and those servicemen here and abroad. Thank you. All right, we have no appointments tonight. I'm going to start with new business. Letter A is our Buzzards Bay Coalition Conservation Restriction Approval Request. That was a tongue twister. And I believe we have Natasha here for Buzzards Bay. Scanning
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
Okay. John, are you also here for Buzzards Bay?
Yes, I'm also present. I'm also on staff at Buzzards Bay Coalition, and Alan Decker is with us as well.
Oh, I see him on, I see his name.
Mhm.
All right, we have 4 parcels. Folks on the board, this would be the pages in your packet from page 4 to page 107. I'm going to take these parcels in order. We have A, Knight Front Field, that's Knight as Knight, Front Field CR, which is 4.94 acres on Barney's Joy Road. Natasha, John,
Yep.
Alan, who would like to speak?
Yes, so I have, there's actually 2 conservation restrictions on Barney Joy's Road. They're separate individual, but they're owned by the same landowner. So the first one that you mentioned is an almost 5-acre agricultural operation. It's scenic agriculture property with significant frontage on Barney's Joy Road. It contributes to a growing greenway corridor, promoting agricultural values with other protected lands. And if you guys do have your packets, there's an open space map that shows. One thing to highlight is that it's immediately adjacent to the Wainer Farm CR that Buzzards Bay Coalition did a couple years back with federal funding. And the purpose of the CR is to have the property remain as is for agricultural protection, preserving healthy soils, open ag operation, long-term farm viability. So that's the first one there, and as you said, that's the front field, right along.
The additional one is the Knight North Lot Conservation Restriction, which is 5.37 acres.
Yep. So
Okay.
that one's a mostly wooded parcel. It has significant wildlife habitat, and it's mapped as important coastal adaptation and persistence for salt marsh. The features are significant because it protects against sea level rise, and it extends the efforts of land protection because it connects immediately adjacent to Dartmouth Natural Resource Trust land. And that's also salt marsh fed by the Slocum River estuary. And that's what I have for those 2.
And these 2 properties are across from the Wainer property, right?
They're on the same side of the road as it. So the front field is like adjacent right next to it. And then the north lot is like kind of behind it. There's forest
right.
land and then
Right.
salt
To the
marsh.
left. Yep, right. Thank you.
So we have in our packet, we have let me just tell you what page it is in case you wanted to look at it, members of the board. What page? I'm on page 48,
Mhm,
and that will show you the parcels.
mhm.
All right. Do you want to, should we take parcel by parcel? Or Cody, you're muted,
Yeah,
sorry.
sorry about that. Yeah, you should vote each one individually.
Okay, then, the first one is Night Front Field Conservation Restriction, 4.94 acres off of Barney's Joy Road.
Motion to
Motion to
approve the
approve.
conservation restriction.
All right, motion
With the
made
question.
by Mr. Mickelson, seconded by Mr. McDonald. Mr. McDonald, any questions on that particular parcel?
No.
Seeing no hands up on our end, we'll take a vote. Mr. Mickelson,
Yes.
Mr. McDonald,
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. Thank you. That was unanimous. The second piece, the Night North Lot Conservation Restriction, 5.37 acres, Barney's Joy Road.
Motion to approve.
Motion
Second.
made by Mr. Mickelson, seconded by Mr. McDonald. Any questions? Seeing none, we'll vote. Mr. Mickelson in favor?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
And Mrs. Brooks is yes. So that again is a unanimous decision. The next item is the Cornell Farm area, which is 15.1 acres on Tucker Road.
Yes, so
So-
that one is another farm preservation. It's a working farm and it's adjacent to the town DPW's Pascamanset Valley River project that they did between 2023 and 2024 with community preservation funds. This conservation project includes funding from the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Buy, Protect, Sell program. So the coalition actually acquired the property this fall and with fee title, and we're set to sell the land to a local farmer sometime in February. And simultaneously, while we're doing that transfership, we will be conveyed back a CR in exchange. The purchase price from that farmer supports an unrestricted house lot. I'm pretty sure that can be seen on the map figure that was included. And that's been
That map is
excluded
on
from the
page
CR.
83, everyone. Page 83 for the map.
Mhm.
And that shows, I believe it's about a 1.4 unrestricted area for the new farmer to do as they please, either with housing or agricultural outbuildings. It's already under agreement, and we're set to do that Buy, Protect, Sell exchange sometime in February.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mickelson, seconded by Mr. McDonald. Any further questions from anyone on the board?
Madam Chair.
Yes,
Natasha,
Mr. O'Neill.
Do you have any idea, can you give us an estimate of the number of acres that are contiguous with the restrictions in that valley thus far? Do you have any
I know
idea?
it's over 200. I'm not sure on the exact number.
Okay.
Quite a
And
bit.
that's going from this particular parcel all the way up Russell's Mills Road back to the treatment plant, correct?
Yes, yep.
Thank you.
Exactly, yeah.
Any other questions? Ready to vote? Mr. Mickelson,
Yes.
Mr. McDonald,
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. All right, and the last parcel to be discussed will be the Little River Farm Conservation Restriction number 1, which is 12.18 acres on Little River Road.
Yep. So this one is a one out of two component of the coalition's effort to conserve a highly scenic and natural resource rich property. It's in total 22 acres. So as I mentioned, this is one out of two. The coalition is set to acquire the entire property, and we're going to be reselling the 12.18 acres of protected land as part of a resale deal, which includes another unrestricted portion of housing and outbuildings of about 1.5 acres. So this one is going through as one CR, and the other half of this project will come to a future select board meeting. But the current 12.1 acres that we have in front of us today supports a greater conservation effort by linking that future CR by protecting important coastal resources of salt marsh positions like the North Lot on Barney's Joy. And it continues a growing greenway corridor, and it's immediately adjacent to other DNRT protected forest land.
Beautiful, beautiful.
That's on page 107 in our packet.
Mhm.
If you want to review that. Board's pleasure.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Made by Mr. Mickelson, seconded by Mr. McDonald. Any questions?
Madam Chair, just a quick
Yes.
comment again, that we've got 5.37, 2.75 acres, 12.18 acres, 15 plus or minus, over 200 contiguous acres of conserved land. So when we go through the housing questions and people ask where the select board is on conserving land and keeping Dartmouth a town, I'd like them to be reminded the support that we've had with the Buzzards Bay Coalition to preserve as much open space, agriculture, forestry land as we possibly can. However, people that own individual lots have the ability to do with their land what they wish. And these particular individuals have chosen to conserve their lots. So we appreciate that, and the fact that the select board is voting unanimously to make sure that these parcels are protected. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. And you make an excellent point, and they need to come to us. We can't really go to them. All right. We're going to vote if you're in favor, Mr. Mickelson,
Yes.
Mr. McDonald,
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes as well. Sorry, I was getting a message on my screen I was trying to read. So again, that one moves all in favor. So thank you very much, Buzzards Bay Coalition. Thank you as always for partnering us and being a steward of our land in Dartmouth.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for all your hard work.
Heidi, do you want to
you.
take it out of order and do the Duval Field CPA application letter of support while Buzzards Bay Coalition is here?
Great idea. Folks, we will move to item J. Item J you'll find on page 133 in your packet. And this is the Duval Field CPA. Which is the conservation project located in historic Russell's Mills Village. So again, I'll ask Buzzards Bay to tell us a little bit about this project.
Or
Now, this would be
John.
Cody, probably.
he's gone.
John.
Oh,
Is Alan Decker part of this?
Well, Alan's here.
he's still there. There he is.
I'm happy to give an overview. I didn't
Nope,
see if
he's on
someone was
he
gonna.
was on my screen.
Yeah. So the
Yeah, go
Duval
ahead,
Field.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
there's
okay.
Alan. Alan is here. Alan, did you want to speak?
Well, I'm, good evening, Madam Chair. I'm on, but I was going to defer and allow Mr. Joya to speak on the Duval Field project. Yes,
Okay.
nice to see everybody. Thank you.
Okay.
And I'm happy to have Alan add some background as well as I joined the coalition about 5 or 6 months ago, and Alan was instrumental in getting the project going over the past couple of years. But this is an effort for the coalition to acquire the 2.5 acre property, the Duval Field, just basically right next door to the Duval's General Store, right along the river. And the idea is to eventually, for the coalition to acquire the property and permanently protect it and turn it into an open space, public park area for visitation. It also has very important habitat, ecological components to it, and will be a critical property as sea level rise continues and salt marsh migration moves in landward. So the coalition has partnered with the Massachusetts Design, Art, and Technology Institute, Mass DATMA. This is like a public art institution, and they're involved in helping us acquire the property, and they will help in long-term management with public art installations on the property. And what the request, what we're working on right now is securing funding to actually complete the acquisition. And so the letter of support is associated with a forthcoming request to the Dartmouth Community Preservation Committee for CPA funding to support with the acquisition of the project.
The Dartmouth Conservation Commission would essentially likely hold the CR, and so this funding would essentially be utilized to purchase the conservation restriction.
Yep. Thank you, Cody. Yes.
I have no questions.
The letter itself is in our packet.
Hmm.
And should we vote in favor of this, we need to stop by the town hall this week and sign it in person.
Yes. Need you to
Right.
sign the CRs as well that you just
Right.
The
approved.
CRs as well. So
Four
keep that
CRs.
in mind. When you can
Right.
shovel yourself out, you need to get to the town hall.
Motion to send the letter of support for the Duval Field CPA application.
Thank you.
Second.
Seconded by
Second.
Mr. McDonald. All right, so do we have any other discussion points on this? The
I will,
location is listed. Go ahead, Chris.
I'll just say that here's an example for the people that are watching. Here's an example of coordination between the Buzzards Bay Coalition and the Community Preservation Committee in the town. The town now stepping in itself to assist with the protection of a very important piece of property. So this goes along with just about all the other conservation protections that we do throughout the year. And I'm very happy to support this.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Then I will take that as a yes. Mr. Mickelson, are you in favor?
Equally, yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
And I am as well. So that's unanimous on the screen. So congratulations. Let's move this project forward.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Welcome.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
Yep, thank you all. Have a good evening.
Madam Chair, before we go.
Yes.
Before we move on, I'm requesting kind of a little bit of a follow-up on what Chris's point was. If I recall, the planning board has a map of lands that are CR'd and preserved, saved, whatnot. If we could have that map updated and get it to us so that we know the percentage, because if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, I think it's at least 25% of the town has been preserved, other conservation restriction, ag restrictions, whatever, you know, it's owned by Buzzards Bay or owned by
DNRT.
owned by something. So if we could have that list, but I'm almost positive it's at least 25%, if not more now.
Yep, you are accurate, Mr. McDonald. We just updated it last week, and I reviewed it with the planning team, so I can certainly get that over to you this week.
Great, thank you.
I'd actually like to see a comparison, Sean, between Dartmouth and other communities and the number of CRs that they have, how many we've approved, the acreage.
I'm gonna be a homebody, Mr. O'Neill, and say nothing compares to Dartmouth.
We can look for that, Mr. O'Neill. However, it might not be as readily available as we make it, because it's something that the town undertakes through our GIS team. But if we have the data available, we can certainly present it to the board, but we'll look at it.
All right. Mr. Haddad, was there another item we needed to move?
The Board of Health appointment, we have the chair of the Board of
Yes.
Health.
Okay, so that is item C. And the Board of Health Chair, I did see her on our screen. If she could come on and unmute, that would be Emily Michelle
there.
Olmsted.
Yes, I can
There you
unmute.
are.
I cannot. There we go. Now I can start my video. Excellent.
Okay,
Can you hear
great.
me okay?
Yes.
Excellent. Would you like me to give you a very brief position on
Yeah,
where
just
we are?
tell us what's going on your board.
So in December, we had one of our board members had to resign because of a residency issue. He moved to a different town. And since then, it was posted such that we would try and fill the role because there are 3 of us, so we need at least 2 of us for quorum. As I understand it, because I certainly don't get the applicants directly to me. We went for quite some time without any applicants, and then we had an applicant who attended our last Board of Health meeting in January, and he attended the meeting. We as a board voted to recommend him because I believe when we lose a Board of Health member mid-year like this, we need to cooperate together with the select board and vote on someone. And although I do understand that someone else has applied, we still as a board were not aware of that at the time when we voted to recommend Dr. James Griffith. And so Cody is there other sort of official information you want to give that I perhaps left out?
No, you hit the nail on the head. The only other thing, as Ms. Olmsted mentioned, was another applicant did come through. It was almost simultaneous, if not right after this individual, Mr. Griffith or Dr. Griffith, had met with the Board of Health. And so they didn't have an opportunity to meet with that second individual. Given that this is only an appointment till our April 6th election, we thought it was kind of prudent to get this on both of the board's agendas, because if we push this off, I don't see even a point really if you're waiting till March essentially to appoint someone. So that's the only thing I'll say. But we did go quite some time, and Dr. Griffith was the first applicant, and we moved through the process. And he is here tonight, I believe.
I see him on my screen. So I just wanted to clarify for everyone that this appointment would be from now until the election, and it is then to fill the remaining slot of the initial holder of the seat, which the people that are running for that seat would then run for an additional, it would be the remainder of his term, which would be 1 year. I get that correct. Okay. Dr. Griffith, I see you on on my floating heads. Did you want to say something tonight?
Well, I just like
yourself.
I'm Dr. James Griffith. I'm a retired professor of microbiology and infectious disease from UMass. I have been interested in public health my whole adult life, and I'm very pleased to take on this work and be a part of the Dartmouth Board of Health, which has a wonderful reputation in the region, and I'm happy to give back to my community.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your willingness to serve now, and I know that you've taken out papers, and this would certainly give you an idea of the work. So we'll know how that stands if you decide to not return your papers after starting to serve. But I look forward to that. So board's pleasure of the board.
Motion to appoint Dr. Griffith.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mickelson, seconded by Mr. McDonald. Any questions for anyone else? Seeing none, we'll vote. Mr. Mickelson?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
And as the chair, I vote yes. So congratulations, Dr. Griffith. You are now on the Board of Health. You'll just need to stop in to see Sarah Haskell-Aruda in the town clerk's office to be sworn in, and then you can vote at the next Board of Health meeting.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you for coming,
Thank you
Emily.
so much.
All right, now I'll go back up to our item B, which is Special Police Officer Craig Pimentel. That's in your packet on page 108. I don't see the chief listed, but I have a lot of phone number, emails, and I don't know if the chief is here tonight.
No,
I
he is not.
See that. Okay,
He had, these are straightforward. The board's done these in the past. There's the
Yep.
request from the chief, Officer Pimentel, retired at the end of 2025. He served 32 years with the Dartmouth Police Department and is looking to be appointed as a special officer.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
thank you. Motion made by Mr. McDonald, seconded by Mr. Mickelson. We'll go to any questions? No, all in favor, Mr. Mickelson,
Yes.
Mr. McDonald,
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill,
Yes.
and Mrs. Brooks votes yes as well. So congratulations to Craig Pimentel. I still can't believe he's old enough to retire. All right, next we have item D, which is the accepting the resignation on the Youth Commission by Alexander Hirschman. I think that's pretty straightforward. He has turned in a letter.
Motion to accept the resignation.
Second. Kendall.
Motion made by Mr. Mickelson, seconded by Mr. McDonald.
Get a letter out, please, thanking him for his service.
Got it.
Yes. And then I know that Dolores will be hoping that something gets published, looking for someone to join that board. So all in favor, we'll go around. Stanley,
Yes.
Mr. McDonald,
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. All right, moving to the next one. Item E, this begins on page 113 in your packet, from 113 to 120. This is looking for a temporary trailer permit. I don't know if someone is here on our screen.
We had invited
The names aren't
the
jiving.
applicant. Yeah, we had invited the applicant. I don't see them necessarily on the screen. It was Texera, I believe was the last name. Essentially, this is, per our bylaws, anyone looking to reside in a trailer over a certain period of time needs approval from the select board for the permit. The applicant previously lived in the town of Dartmouth and sold their home. They own a business in town and own this vacant parcel of land. They're looking to eventually build a property on this parcel of land, and essentially is applying for a trailer permit for them and their family to live in it, I believe, until the home is built. But they do not have a building permit yet. It looks like they've submitted for a building permit, but it has not been approved, so they do not have an active building permit. They have not paid the fee, and it has not gone through any of the approval processes yet. It's just been submitted.
Or at least they applied.
What I'm looking at is it looks like there's some concerns from the Board of Health.
Yes, and so you can see there's a number of conditions that the Board of Health is
Yes.
requesting if you were to approve. I will mention that within the permitting portal, DPW has requested site plan for the utility hookups as far as water and sewer. So there's a lot they need to go through with the department. So I would say if you were to approve something like this, please make it conditional upon all departments' approval.
Without having the petitioner here, so we can make sure she understands the concerns, I'm hesitant to move forward with this.
Yeah, we did invite them and ask them to come in.
And I understand we're on Zoom, but I know we have enough people on here to say that that information was sent out. I will do what the board.
I agree with you, Madam. There's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 restrictions that have to be met, and Mrs. Texera should be well aware of what they are.
Yeah, I just feel uncomfortable as you're saying, Stanley,
Yep.
that if we go forth and allow it, I don't want her to feel that even with conditions, if it's not stated.
Motion to table.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to table this by Mr. McDonald, seconded by Mr. Mickelson. So I'm going to go around all in favor. I'm going to start with you, Mr. O'Neill. I haven't heard from you on this.
Just a question, Cody, did you say that she applied for the building permit or did not apply yet?
Has applied for the building permit, but just submitted the application. Building department has not reviewed anything, has no approved permit, just submitted the application.
Okay, so it says in the note, apparently in a rush for the permit due to residency for public schools. Without the approval of the building permit, even I'd be hesitant to allow it, just even for that reason. But I don't know if the schools would have some type of waiver that they would give for a certain period of time. No.
I think that, the school, I did speak with Dr. Saban McGuire regarding this, and, she was aware that they were submitting for this application. And so it's something, I think that, they're working to see if the board is going to approve this or not, but the applicant did sell their home in Dartmouth, previously moved to another community. And so typically, as been done with at least a handful of students this year, they're required to register for school in the district that they now reside in.
Well, the kids would be, I would assume, registered already because we've sold the house in town already, right? So
yeah, but they didn't register in the new community, and they're looking to remain in Dartmouth Public Schools.
In the trailer, as their residents.
Correct.
Yes, until
I can see this going through quite quickly. So I don't know if any rush to judgment on this. I think it's really important that she understands her responsibilities.
yeah, I think I agree. I think there's still some work to do, so I'll go along.
I think what ought to be happening is all the restrictions should be spelled out in some kind of a form. I know it's already online, but it also needs to be done and needs to be read for the record.
Yeah, we don't even have all the restrictions yet because not every department has even had an opportunity to review. The DPW, like I said, is still requesting more information before they put any restrictions in effect. We put it on the agenda due to their request with the school issue, but
Yeah, I wouldn't be inclined to do anything until all the restrictions are noted.
Madam Chair, I vote for the table also then.
all right. And I do as well. So having said that, we will hold off on this potentially for our next meeting, Cody.
Oh, I think you started with Chris, so you got to go around to Sean
Oh,
and
sorry,
Stanley.
Chris?
Yeah.
And, okay, the motion on the floor is to table this item tonight for a future meeting. If you are in favor, Chris?
Yes.
Ms. Stanley?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
And I am as well. So we'll put that on for a future meeting. Next, we have the DHAS lease agreement. And this is the Dartmouth Historical Arts Society. Page 121. This is the building on Russell's Mills Road. This is the old Russell's Mills School, Russell's Mills Library.
Yeah, so there's an existing lease in place that expired December 31st, 2025. As part of the procurement that was done in 2022, there was an additional option of 3 years. So we have spoken with the Dartmouth Historical Arts Society. They're requested to extend the option. They've been great partners. They've submitted all their annual reports that align with the required lease payments. So I emailed actually as a supplemental document to the board this evening, or this afternoon I should say, the lease extension agreement. All terms within the existing lease remain. It just extends it for another 3 years, January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2028.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, so on the table, do we have any questions? No, all right. So let's vote on this. So we're voting to approve the extension of this lease for what was the Russell's Mills Library, now DHAS. Stanley,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
and myself, yes. So we will please execute that and we'll move forward on that. Sorry, folks, you keep moving on my screen and so I keep trying to find you. Next, we have the Board of Assessors for their operational presentation. This is a follow-up from our December meeting. I do see we have Jessica Pacheco, Gary, and Kevin Santos. Oh, and I see Curtis is also on screen with us.
Oh, boy.
Yep, so Jessica
I don't
and
know
the
if anyone
board,
wants
yeah,
wants
Jessica,
to unmute and show your faces, please. I think Jessica, it's a very dark screen, but I think that could be Jessica. Up there's Kurt.
I'm here.
Oh.
Hello.
All right. Jessica, can you hear us? Okay. I can't see you, but you're now unmuted.
See a window.
yeah. Oh, let's see.
And she's gone. There she is. Who's the chair of the Board of Assessors?
Santos,
Kevin.
I believe, yeah. Kevin, are you there? Hello, Kevin.
Whoever's in control of the meeting can ask him to unmute. Peter?
Oh,
Yeah,
can you
just,
hear me now?
yep. Yes,
Cody, can you hear me? This is
yes, we can hear
There
you.
you go.
I am on my iPad, so this it's a little bit difficult on this right here. But as long as you can hear me, I'm here.
Jessica, are you able to hear us? Hmm.
Cody, I was just on the phone with her, and she could actually, she told me she could actually view you. She could see everyone.
It looks
Let me
like we
try.
can't, yeah, we can't hear or see her. We see
Oh, we see the window.
Yeah. And we don't have anything in our packet.
no, we just got the presentation late Friday, so it was after the packet
Okay.
was sent out.
So what are we doing here?
Would you like to table this?
I'm texting her now to see if she's having a problem.
So maybe Heidi, maybe table this until later part of the meeting and see if Jessica can.
Okay, we have some other things that we can discuss.
Yeah.
We'll keep watching her window. All right, so we will, H, the communications manager. I did see Jessica.
Hello,
There she is.
I'm here.
And Jessica, could you pronounce your last name for us?
Yes, it's Dastu.
Okay,
The S is silent on the end.
okay. Jessica Dastu. Jessica is our new communications manager. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Jessica?
All right. Hello, board. I'm very excited to be here. I just started last week, and I have over 10 years of marketing and communications experience, and most recently, I served for the town of Frisco in Colorado as their communications coordinator. So I'm super excited to put some communications plans in place and just get Dartmouth's word out there and have our residents excited about activities and what we offer. So
So,
I will
Jess,
tell you, I was pleasantly surprised attending the MMA meeting this weekend up in Boston. Jessica was there as well, and she and I consulted on a few breakout sessions or workshops that we were going to go to, and she'd pick one and I'd pick the other. And so I look forward to meeting up with her this week once I shovel out. And we can get together and talk more about things that we learned. The MMA convention, as always, was insightful. But Jessica does hail with not only municipal experience, but she was also marketing for a ski mountain in Colorado, which comes as no surprise, and a casino. And I know our town's in search of some money. So maybe she has some tips for us.
Happy to help.
But she's gonna hit the ground running because as she found out this weekend, that this is the year of Massachusetts' 250th. Every general session made reference to that. And she got to see the beauty of our Commonwealth, and lucky for her, via the screen, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon was there to help her learn how to pronounce every one of the 351 municipalities in the Commonwealth, which was quite fun.
Yeah, but they screwed up a couple of them.
They did, but so do I. So welcome, Jessica. She will, when we are back to meeting in person, she does hope to attend our Monday evening meetings to see us in person. So when you stop by this week to sign a number of our papers, make sure you stop in and see Jessica as well.
Yes, please come say hi. I can show you where my old work used to be. I have a lovely photo hanging up with all of the signatures from my old coworkers. So.
And snow doesn't scare her.
No.
Apparently not.
Not from Colorado.
Thank you all.
All right.
Actually,
thank you.
this is not pretty good. Not only do we steal somebody from Colorado, we also stole a win from Colorado.
Ah, there you go.
Ouch, it's still raw. It's still raw. Actually, Jessica hails from Connecticut, so she actually is a true New England Patriots fan.
I am.
We didn't have to steal too much of her.
I will just say Jessica has jumped right in. In addition to attending the conference, if you notice any of our information that we got out during the storm and over the weekend, Jessica was working with the team, attending meetings and getting that information out. So we're excited to have her on board and look at ways we can produce better and more effective communication with our community.
Welcome to Dartmouth.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica.
All right. I sadly I still see Jessica. I don't actually see her. I see a very dark office. And I don't believe she's in witness protection. So I will continue on. Let's go to K, the DCTV letter for exterior repair. And this is part of our a letter to go to our CPA for support when we go to, sorry, my screen just went to sleep.
So am I.
When we go to town meeting.
Yeah, so this is Pete's here. He can certainly give you an overview of the project. This was as part of the supplemental documents I sent out this afternoon. It has a rundown of the project estimate and a draft support letter that I put together. Essentially, the applications for CPC are due later this week. Pete has been putting together the application for this project, and this would just be a letter of support to CPC, which hopefully they approve and recommend for funding. And Pete can give you kind of a rundown of what the project is and what he's looking for.
Hello, welcome. Yeah, we're looking to just do the exterior of the old town hall. It's in kind of rough shape, so get some new shingles on it, do some patchwork on the concrete, and then some grading around the building. So that came out to, I think we just had a study done from Bruce Thornton, and they came back with estimates. I think it came in around $511,000. So we're going to ask CPC to fund 460 of it, plus or minus, and then DCTV reserve fund will put in the other 50,000 to make up the difference. So yeah, any questions?
I remember seeing the pictures when we initially went for the funding to evaluate the project, and I'm glad to see that it's going to be taken care of.
Yeah, we're keeping it all original. There was some discussion on originally on taking some windows out that we blocked from the interior, but we decided not to even approach that. We just wanted to just keep the outside looking just the way it is. You know, we're also going to be able to redo the front like stoop area a little bit. That's in rough shape. So some of that wood was rotting out. So we're looking to bring that up to code also. And then I think the only small minor change is most of the trim is going to be some kind of vinyl or PVC type material versus wood, but it'll look like the wood. But we are going to redo the wood shingles the same way.
So you are going with the replacing of the trim?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. There was talk about just replacing some of the trim with that was rotted, and I said, well, why don't we just? I don't want both. I want to do all or nothing. So we're gonna
Best way to do it.
put it, and then also we put in to replace the sheathing behind the shingles at 100%. That was gone back and forth. You know, originally they said, oh, we think you only need to replace about 20% of it. I said, well, when we redid the roof about 12 years ago, we had to replace all of it. So I didn't want to get into that situation and pull off those shingles and all of a sudden need more funding for the sheathing.
Well, Pete, you're a good steward of that restoration, because you're absolutely right. We would be covering up something that would only haunt us later. So this way we can make sure that the building is done right. So thank you for pursuing that. And we'll get it done once and for all.
Motion to approve the letter of recommendation.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. McDonald, seconded by Mr. Mickelson. Any other questions? Seeing no one's hand, we'll vote. Mr. Mickelson?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. As we said, the letter of support is in your, as an email attachment. Again, stop by the office this week so we can sign that as well.
Could I just make one quick announcement too?
Sure thing.
So last Thursday, we got a very surprising update from Comcast. Most of our channel numbers have changed. Our public access channel is still channel 95, but now our educational access, which was formerly channel 9, is now 96. And our government access, which was formerly channel 18, is now channel 97. So this seemed to take the whole area by surprise. They are supposed to give us 30 days notice. We have not seen this notice per se yet. They said that they've sent it to all these communities, but I can tell you in talking to about 5 other communities around here, they didn't receive any kind of communication either that they know of. So we're still trying to look that up, but we're trying to get the word out as best as we can. We're going to do a bigger push probably later this week or beginning of next week to really push it. But just so everyone knows, we are not off the air. We are on now 95, 96, 97.
It's unfortunate that not only were we not told, but all these other communities, when so easy just to send an email and let everybody know.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you. And thank you for all you've done to support us. All right, next on our docket, we have some license renewals.
Oh, and also it says,
Oh,
seems like
yes.
Jessica says that she can talk now here.
Oh, okay. Then let's hold off on that and we'll go to Jessica.
Yes, all right then.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Can you see me?
You should
No.
be able to unmute yourself now.
You see that other guy?
Now we can.
Yep,
Oh,
yeah, I
okay.
just saw you.
Okay,
There you are. There you are.
Hey,
sorry
there you
about
go.
that.
That's
Okay.
okay.
So
Are
I
you
have the
able-
power, how
Yeah.
do you want me to do the PowerPoint?
Are you on a laptop or you can share your screen?
Yes. Hold on.
Once you do that, you won't be able to see us, which is fine. We will all be able to see your screen, which will be the presentation, and you can walk us through that.
Okay, give me 1 second. Share. I've never done this before, so just bear with
That's
me.
okay. That's okay.
Okay, we can see it, Jessica.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yep.
Oh, no, hold on.
Okay.
Just click on number 1.
Okay. Is that better if I do that?
There you go.
Perfect.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right, so my name is Jessica Pacheco. I'm the acting administrator of assessing. I would like to thank the select board for giving me this opportunity to give a little insight on what we do in the assessor's office. Okay. We have an elected 3-member board, Kevin Santos, Robert Michaud, and Curtis Nunes. Here are some of the responsibilities of the assessor's office. We are responsible for evaluating property values. We assess the value of all taxable real and personal property. We maintain and update our property record cards. We set the annual property tax rate. We accept and process applications for exemptions and abatements. We maintain the tax assessing maps. We create parcels for land splits, and we create bill files for motor vehicle and boat excise taxes. These are just some of the reasons why we changed the assessed value under the guidelines of the Department of Revenue. Chapter 59, we are required to assess the properties at 100% full and fair cash value. What does this mean? Our assessed values must reflect the market, example, what the properties are selling for. The Department of Revenue reviews and approves our values annually, completing a full audit or certification every 5 years. If our values do not meet the DOR requirements, they will not be approved. So FY27 is our year 5. So FY27 will be when we are doing our certification. These are just some notes from FY26. Our residential values increased by 6.11% from last year. Our commercial industrial values increased 8.42% from last year. The maximum levy limit for this year increased by 4.5%, which was Proposition 2.5 of last year's levy, plus 1% in new growth and 1% debt exclusion. Our current residential tax rate is $8.03. Current commercial and industrial tax rate, $15.78. Personal property, $15.73. Fire District 1 tax, 48 cents. Fire District 2, $1.03. Fire District 3 residential is 79 cents. Fire District personal property, $1.87. New growth is an increase in the assessed value. So that's anything new. So new construction, that's new new businesses, new decks, that's all considered new growth. Levy limit is the maximum dollar amount the town can raise in a fiscal year, and which is the prior year's levy plus 2.5% plus new growth and any debt exclusions that the town has. This page is our LA4 comparison report for FY26, and what this is all the property classes, what the value was for FY25, what the value is for FY26, and then the percent of the difference of the assessed value. If you need me to slow down, just let me know and I'll slow down. This next page is the assessment classification report, and it's pretty much the same thing as the LA4. It goes by property class types, the parcel count, and the value of each property class that we have. This is the tax rate history for all classes. The Board of Selectmen voted for a split tax rate in 2007 for FY 2008. A split tax rate is a property tax system that applies different tax rates to different classifications of property, typically taxing commercial industrial property at a higher rate and residential property at a lower rate. This method is used to reduce the tax burden on homeowners while shifting it to businesses. The Board of Selectmen voted on a maximum tax shift of 1.75 for FY 23. So as you can see in 2022, the shift was 1.63, and then FY 23 is when it went up to 1.75, and then 2026, 1.74. And that was just DOR. It had something to do with the values, I believe, and that's why we couldn't shift to the full 1.75. It wouldn't let us put it into the system. The next page is the top 10 FY26 taxpayers. As you can see, Eversource is number one, and that's the majority of our personal property. Trends in average single-family tax bill. You can see the median tax bill from FY22 to FY26. It has increased year by year. And this is the average single-family tax bill. I gathered some communities. I did Acushnet, Seekonk, Westport, Rehoboth, Fairhaven, Somerset, and Dartmouth. And as you can see, we're pretty even with Acushnet. Westport and Fairhaven are below us, and Seekonk, Rehoboth, and Somerset have a higher tax bill. These are the shift changes based on FY26. I believe Mr. McDonald had the question about shifting to maybe 1.50. I just wanted to show if we did do that, what would happen if we shifted to the 1.50. You would see an increase in residential taxes of $173.05 and a decrease in commercial taxes of $1,248.81. If we did a single rate and we didn't shift at all, the residential would increase $524.40, and the commercial would decrease $3,873.03. Chapter land, we have 34 parcels in forestry, 152 in agriculture, 82 in recreational, 268 total properties in chapter. The remaining parcels not in chapter, 14,704. Mr. O'Neill, I know you had a question regarding how long these chapter lands were when they were established, and I'm actually working with Vision to try to create a report so that I can get that information out to you.
Thank you.
This is an FY27 estimated tax levy. Last year's levy limit plus Proposition 2.5, estimated new growth, estimated debt exclusion. So the total estimated FY27 levy, $84,543,475. We have 376 sales that happened in 2025. So those all need to be reviewed, part of the doing our sales analysis. New construction, as of today, the town has 25 new construction permits. We are a June 30th community, so what that means is we can assess the property as of June 30th, whatever percent is complete. We don't have to wait until the following fiscal year to tax whatever's there. Now, this is the reval process, so this is what's going to be taking place for FY27. DOR guidelines state that all property must be assessed at 100% full and fair cash value. So these are all the sales that we have, like I talked about before, like we have to go through them, make sure they're arm's length sales, any family sales, those we don't include in that summary that we do. Oh, I think I went too far. I have to go back. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
Bottom left side. Yep.
Click on that.
All the way down the bottom left-hand side, I saw a back arrow, I think.
Just click the back arrow.
On your keyboard.
Okay.
There we go.
Thanks. So data collection, this is the first step. Every parcel must be inspected every 10 years. During the reval and interim years, we pay particular attention to those undergoing renovations, any particular properties that have recently sold or have recently been demolished. And we do this, sales we do through deeds, and then any renovations or anything that's been demolished is through building permits. Sales analysis and data quality. The sales that we currently will be looking at are the sales that took place in 2025. The valuation for this coming year is based off of 2025 sales and is a value as of 1/1/26. Valuation determination. Determination of market value for every parcel of property within the town is made as of January 1. We are, however, a June 30th community, which means new construction, we can assess whatever is there as of June 30th. There are 3 types of approaches to value. There is market approach, which are your sales, cost approach, which estimates property value by calculating the cost to new building and then subtracting the depreciation and then adding the value of land. Income approach is the approach we use to value a property based on its income. We use this approach for commercial properties, which is why really important that we get the I&E forms. I know the board is now going to implement that if we don't receive the I&E forms, that there will be a penalty. So commercial will be $250, residential will be $50, and it will be assessed on your FY27 real estate taxes. A final review of all values will be done. All required certification is requested by DOR for their review at that point. The next step would be a public disclosure. This is when the residents have the opportunity to review their values. They can come into the office, take a look at their values. If there's any disputes they have, they can do it at that time. And then any values that change more than 10%, we'll need to provide that information to the DOR for them to review. The final step is the final approval. At this time, DOR would give us the okay that our values are good, and then this is when we would hold a classification hearing. So this is no different than if we did our interim years. At the end, when you receive your bill, you can come into the office and file for an abatement. You have until February 1st to come in and file for an abatement. The board has 90 days to act on that abatement. At that point, whether the board approves it or denies it, you have 90 days to file at the ATB if you're not happy with the outcome. I think that's it. I have one more page, and I believe Curtis is on the screen, so I can let him talk about this. I just want to say I'd like to thank you for giving me this opportunity once again. As you can see, the office has a lot going on. I know Mr. O'Neill had asked during the classification hearing, like, what we could use in the office. And I mean, a data collector is definitely would be a huge help in our office. And continuing to have Richard Gonzalez come in and help me and train me. He's been doing this for a very long time, and he knows, Dartmouth. We've done a lot in the office to try to streamline things. We've now, we email all exemptions to residents, so they don't necessarily have to come in. We can mail them. We mail them to them, and they can fill it out, and then they can come in the office. We've also acquired Nearmap, which has been super helpful. It helps us pick up, pools, decks. We don't have to necessarily go out and measure every single thing from a building permit. We can go in to Nearmap, and I can measure a new shed or a new garage. So that's been super helpful. The Dartmouth Assessor's Office has always done everything in-house. We have a few contractors that we have. That's kind of a big deal. There are not too many communities that actually do everything in-house. A lot of them outsource everything. So I believe that with these tools, we'll be able to continue that process with a fair and accurate value controlled by the town. So if Curtis is on and he wants to talk about that.
One moment, Jessica, before you
Yes.
turn it over to Curtis, could you
Yes.
go back a few slides? Because I think this is the slide that's going to show people over time what our assessment has been. A few more. It's a beautiful graph. Keep going back. 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 Another one.
This one?
Nope, another one.
Another one?
Another one. Sorry, I didn't realize it was so far back. Here we go.
Okay.
There's been, of course, tax bills go out, and then people are screaming that, their bill has gone up. And I just want to point out to everyone in the viewing audience, if we look at the fiscal year, here we are now in 2026, our real estate for our homes has been taxed at 8.03, $8.03 per thousand. And
Yes.
if we look, that is a reduction from 2025, a reduction from 2024, a reduction from 2023, and a reduction from 2022. What's going up is the value of our homes.
Yes.
So we at the town are not increasing the assessment of real estate. In fact, just your home is appreciating in value. And that is why when you look at the bill and you're having a heart attack, it's there because your house has enriched value. And in order to cap, as you know, the 2.5%, we established the real estate tax, the commercial industrial tax, the personal property tax to reflect us to be able to maintain within that 2.5%. I just wanted to just go through it slowly so that we'll all stop getting grilled in social media. That won't necessarily stop it, but maybe it's a bit. Now I apologize, Jessica, you're going to have to fast forward and
Okay.
then let Kurt talk about his slide.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, the last slide she's talking about is something that I just did I see a lot of this stuff in the last 20 some odd years in my career, with real estate, seeing values. That's how I got interested in this position to begin with. So it's a chart I started in 2024 is going to be a little more accurate because I started last year in a $400,000 to $500,000 category of residential sales. So this basically represents all the multiple listing service sales from 2024, and then I recently added 25. The problem with 25.
Sorry, I'm just going to stop you for 1 second. I'm just going to ask Jessica, is it possible for you to enlarge that slide?
Yeah,
Maybe,
go ahead.
Maybe control plus sign? There you go. And then I don't know if you can slide it down, but go. Sorry, Kurt. I wanted people to be able to see those numbers.
I have a copy in front of me if you have questions too. But yeah, so this is just something I started to show, and like you said, Madam Chairman, about social media. So I just think Dartmouth's done a great job, and I've only been there 5 years, not even 5 years yet. So, but it's something I started, and the reason 2024 is more accurate is because now $400,000 to $500,000 is a category disappearing. For example, Rochester, I took off this list because the numbers were so low. I mean, they only had 2 houses sell in that category because, there's land selling for that now. So the categories, the average, the median, as everything's going up. So this is what I show when people say, "Oh, our taxes are high." This is kind of what I started to show them last year with 2024. That we were with the lowest assessed residential values of all these towns year after year. Is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? With the second lowest tax bill after Westport. Keep in mind, this is on an average, not a median. I just did all MLS sales, something I did, and worked with Jessica, just gave it to her, included here in case anybody had questions. But you look at what some of these towns are paying. So when people say, "Oh, gee, we have this coming, and we need all these projects coming in Dartmouth," and I look at something like this, say, "Well, the good news is we can afford it." Now, how does the Board of Selectmen and the town get the additional money? So, with an override of debt exclusion, to sell this to the residents. But, to me, this is something that I would use, that I think I thought you guys could use and say, listen, the average bill here is, 2024, $3,086. You got 4,100, 4,600 in Somerset, 4,300 in Seacon, and that's what they're paying to live in that town. So, that's just something I thought might be helpful for you guys. So that was it. That was the only slide I had, and I apologize I couldn't be at the December meeting. But are there any other questions? There were a couple of questions that I noted. Mr. McDonald asked, "Can we use sales for commercial property?" Yes, we can. By the rules, technically you can. If a property sells, we can use that data. But in many cases, you want to use the rents. Because the rents, if you tried to use, some of these bigger properties like the mall, you're not going to find a sale anyway. But, a lot of these properties, the rents are allowing you to charge more to these properties than the sale would. So, but yes, you can use it in certain properties. I recommend it. I've been working closely with Richard and Richard Gonzalez and Jessica on the commercial properties. So that was one question I want to answer that Mr. McDonald had in the December meeting. And I don't know if there was any other questions that Jessica didn't answer. She's worked hard on this presentation over the last several weeks, and just, can open it up to questions. Does the board have any questions that they feel weren't answered at this time?
Members of the board, I cannot see you on my screen. Whoops, maybe I will now. Hang on. There you are. So if you'd let me know if you have any specific questions. I'm hoping the slide that I had Jessica return to and then dragged through helps people at home. I'll ask you individually. Mr. O'Neill.
Thank you. Thanks, Curtis. The average tax bill, the list that you have, Kurt, showing the other towns.
Yes.
How did you come up with that? Did you use just the tax rate? Did you include all the fees what kind of comparison did you use with the other
No,
towns?
my chart was strictly multiple listing data as a real estate broker. It was strictly MLS data, and the only problem, it was all MLS sales of those years. But I had to take out some properties because, if we list a house in December of 25, the real estate agent's going to list this is your taxes for this property on 25, but we might not close on it till 26. So, so a lot of the sales had 24 instead of 25. So,
Okay.
but no comparisons on that at all on,
All
on
right.
that particular chart. But I know Jessica worked on that with like you guys had asked about the garbage and the fire districts. I think one of these pages she's got all the the difference of the fire districts, and every fire district's different to add to that 803.
Okay, so that list of actual taxes charged for those particular towns, you were basically just using the average in that category from MLS for sales, and then
Right.
plugging in the tax rate only, correct, for those towns?
Not even plugging in the tax rate. I have my screen set up so when I call up a list like I did all this past year, I did all 25 sales, and then I averaged every sale, the sale price, came up with a number. And again, these were only $400,000 to $500,000 sales. And then I took their assessed values of that year and averaged those, and then I took the tax bill of that, all strictly MLS data, whatever. And that information is only good as, realtors entering it in. We enter that information in. I enter a property's taxes and assessment. So, but the mistakes are easily seen. Like somebody, no different in acreage, somebody will put 0.14 acres by mistake when we know it's 1.4 or something like that. But,
All right, so one of the things that sticks out for me is in trying to get a comparison to other towns that everybody's really worked up about lately. That particular one doesn't do it, right? So it's just using the tax rate.
right.
Is there a way, maybe Gary can work on this, but I think it's important for a new communications director to have a piece out there for the people to show them exactly where we are. I can't get a straight number for where we are compared to other towns that are as close in comparison to we are. When you look at the fire district, adding that in, when you look at the beach stickers, everything we charge for municipal services, where other towns may have included that altogether. So we look a lot lower, but we're actually not because we're charging that on as a separate line item,
Well, on my chart, the one thing that is included would be your fire, because I'm using a tax bill. I'm not using tax rates. So that tax bill, all the tax bills on that chart, that is what they paid in taxes, and it includes the fire. So it's already in there.
Okay, so the fire would be included with the taxes.
Yeah,
but
the garbage wouldn't be beach passes, but the fire is already figured in because that is the average tax bill for the sales in Dartmouth in that category.
Okay, all right, I'll work on getting a comparison on the side. Second question that I had, if I promise, no, that wasn't it. It was current staff. So Jessica, getting back to your request for a data collector to try and get us through the next full reeval with Richard. Can you give us a breakdown of what your current staff is, full-time equivalents now, what you have for part-time, what you have for contractors, et cetera?
Sure. So right now I have a full-time principal clerk and I have 2 full-time assessing technicians. As far as vendors, I do have Randy who comes in and he does the bill files for me, my preliminary bills and my actual bills. We have RRC that does personal property, and I have Sansusi who does the solar for me.
Okay, those people are part-timers or contractors?
They're just vendors.
Okay, all right, so
Yeah,
they're-
I don't have any part-time. I just have the 3 full-time staff, and then we outsource a few of our things through vendors.
all right, so 3.
I'm sorry, Jess. Yeah, I missed one of your vendors. I got Randy and I got Sansusi and I missed the middle one.
RRC.
And
That's
what
for
is-
our personal property.
Okay.
Plus, and Richard Gonzalez also.
Richard, yes.
And Paul Bergman.
Yeah.
But when you guys talked at the December meeting, which I watched that meeting a couple times, about the difference of outsourcing, and keep in mind this data collector position, uh, it's not going to really help you much the next 6 months with training. By the time you hire someone, it's more of a long-term thing for that. But as far as outsourcing it, you look, you see what happened when we tried to outsource that last project, and it was a debacle. And when they hit the wrong button and charged the house for 112 ATMs in the house, and I'm just throwing out numbers, and 42 hot tubs in a house, and it costs us over $200,000 in our overlay account, and Jessica can go over the math a little better than I can. So we have two of the best assessors in this industry over the past few decades with Richard and Paul. And not that we plan on keeping Richard forever, but he's been a great value to us, and bringing Jessica into this position. And he only cost us $31,000 last year. You want to start outsourcing some of this work, you're talking 6-digit numbers and multiple 6-digit numbers. A total of what Richard did for us and Paul last year was like $48,000 roughly. And that's, we got a lot for that money. Richard is practically on call to us. He doesn't have to, do that, but obviously he's getting paid, and he's been great. So we are, technically outsourcing, and we got, two of the best in the business right there that are still working for this town on a limited basis that, really help us out.
All right. So when you get into the full reevaluation, Curtis, I mean, at 48,000, are you saying that an additional data clerk, in addition to the people that you have on board now, would be able to get that project done?
Well, the data collector, part of their job is going to be going in the field, and that's what Paul does, a little bit for us now, but he doesn't go in the properties, so that those duties could shift into that. Also the data collector. You and I, talked briefly about getting on the phone and calling, following up on some of these I&Es and saying, well, gee, this doesn't look right to us. Could we get some documentation? We just don't have the staff to make those calls. I find a lot of errors, in values and different things, in my job, and I send them to Jessica. If I see a mistake or I see something that doesn't look right, I say, wow, this property sold for $2 million. We have it assessed for $600,000. What happened here? And we knock them out one by one, and we look into it and we fix them. Lost my train of thought there, but
sorry, Kurt, for the layperson, could you just tell us what I&E is?
The income and expense report. When you guys were discussing it at the December meeting, you guys, somebody was using the term, I think it was Kevin using the term profit and loss. It's not a profit and loss. It's an income and expense report. So if I own a plaza and I have 6 tenants, I report how much rent we collect. And this is how, and your expenses, and this is how we put a value on that property in many cases. So that's how that's done. And we sent out, I think, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. Last year we sent out, I think it was around 450, 460 I&E reports. Only about a third of them came back. And then, that's a problem. We were looking at a big commercial property the other day. We have no income. We have, nothing on it. I mean, we saw another comparing process. We're working on fixing that. But, this is why the board voted this year to attach these fines. So a commercial property does not turn that in this year, they will get $250 fine from the town. They also technically lose their right to not submit an abatement, but we don't have to look at it if they didn't give us one of those until you get to, if it's a tax board thing and they, come after it, then, you deal with it at that time. But if nothing else, it's, it's not such the money. I mean, if we did it last year, the fines would raise about $75,000. Which is not a lot of money, but we're not doing it to raise money. We're doing it to, to wake these, people up and these businesses up to get this information to us so we can properly value their properties.
So the key on the I&E, Kurt, right? You had mentioned that you were going to look at the fines. You were going to check with legal to see if we had traction enough to pursue it. Make sure that it sticks if it gets to that point. My goal would be not to assess one fine. However, communicate it properly so people know that we have the ability to fine and we're not going to play games with it anymore, because it's wholly unfair to have a commercial property owner across the street from you who doesn't return this form and there's no repercussion for him.
Right.
And his tax bill is $2,000 or $3,000 lower. I don't know if that's an actual case, but I'm just saying, as an example, that could potentially happen. So the fact that you're looking into the fines and getting a referral from legal on it is good. I think the use of our new communication director would be essential for us to get that word out that the game is over. We need to get people on board with doing this because it's wholly unfair across the board if we're not getting that information.
Well, the fines, the current fines are listed on the form every year. They're listed right on the form. We took it a step further because I just wanted to make sure, because Dartmouth is, some towns charge these fines all the time. We never have. Dartmouth never has. So because of that, I made Jessica, I had Jessica put another page on top of the form this year that says this year we are going to charge these fines.
Right.
The board voted to do it. And again, it's just more to, the problem on that, though, you talk like a big apartment building, with, 150 units. If they don't turn it in, all we can find them is $50. That's one thing I checked on. I said, Jessica, you should call. Maybe that's $50 a unit. No, $50 for the whole complex is all we can charge them. So, but we know we're not getting accurate rents from some of these places. I'm in the business. I know what 2 and 3 bedroom apartments rent for in the town of Dartmouth. And when I
Well, the fact remains, as far as and I'm only one board member, but the fact remains for me, if we get a list of people that are not, returning that information to us, then I have no problem coming to a meeting and reading a list off and asking them to show up at a meeting and explain why they can't do a simple 1 or 2 page form for us.
Right.
Yeah,
it's probably, like I said, about 450 did not return it last year. So maybe with this letter and the fines, it might change, but
with the ultimate goal of making sure that we get as accurate a number on our valuations as possible. I would assume that after the reval, our tax rate could drop precipitously because, we're talking about the levy, right? The levy is the levy.
Yeah.
So
you'll be in the 7s next year.
Yeah, I think so too. And that's all well and good. But we need fairness. We need to make sure that we're getting these values where we can. And you in the assessing department has the ability to get the job done quickly, accurately, and get these reports done. So we can get some fairness back in this thing.
Yeah. Well, and keep in mind with Proposition 2.5, a lot was talked about at that December meeting about, things falling through the cracks. So if your house is undervalued, is the town losing money? No, because if your house is undervalued, it just means the other, 11,000 of them are undervalued, per se by a couple of bucks. So, nothing's falling through the cracks. It's just, my thing is everybody needs to pay their fair share, what these properties are worth, what they're bringing in. And, there's, the commercial side. I remember before I even was on this board over 5-6 years ago, talking to Mr. McDonald on, social media. And he says, oh, the state really, ties our hands sometimes with the way the commercial real estate it is, like these big apartment complexes, they're charged. And I think that was confusion at the December meeting. They are charged on the 803 residential rate, not the commercial. And we looked at one the other day because I sat down with Jessica and Richard to get more accurate information. So I forget what Jessica could say, which complex we use. But if you look at the assessed value of this complex, the apartments came to a assessed value of just over $100,000 a unit. I've seen them as low as 60, but I'll say $103,000 a unit roughly. Now multiply that by 3. Let's turn it into a 3-family house. That would at $300,000. Well, in Dartmouth, they're selling a 3-family house. There's one on the market now for $899. That's probably assessed for $700 at this time. So these big apartment complexes, you want to talk about falling through the cracks. There's some of that going on, and a lot of it's state, a lot of it's Department of Revenue.
That's
go ahead.
Kirk, that was going to be my question, especially as we're going through currently through the ZBA and looking at some significant new build,
Sure.
construction of complexes is, especially if they were already on commercial land, why aren't they maintained at a commercial rate?
Oh, that's a little bit above my pay grade. I don't know exactly why that is.
I think that's a state question. I honestly do, because it's not something that we would prefer, but
I know the answer to that question.
Sean?
I know the answer to that question.
All right, do tell.
The real estate market in Massachusetts has a great lobbying group in Boston. And that's who makes the rules.
And so our complexes are assessed at residential.
Yeah, I do have one follow-up on Kurt's businesses not reporting. I wonder if we can get a list of those businesses over to our office. I'd be curious to find out how many of them have licenses approved by the select board. And that's something that can be
held
until they can, I mean, especially if it's somebody with a liquor license or somebody with a, used car license or a car license.
Sure. Yeah, we have a list. We put that together this year, and they actually gave me a copy of last year's. But now, just so you know, the INEs for this year, we were on the ball. That was, until we got some extra help, which, when Gary was acting, town administrator, I guess his position was, he helped us by getting some extra help in the office, which, helped us catch up. So these things went out on time this year. They're out. They should start coming in the next week or so. And we plan to work. I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the office working with Jessica and Richard when we need them to get this done and bang them out one at a time. And, I think it's going to be a little different this year with that letter going out, and then when they start seeing the fines. But yeah, we can definitely get you that list. Jessica has that for sure, because I've seen a copy of it.
All right, because I don't mind holding a common vic, or any kind of licensing for somebody who's not supposed to do, who aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and then like I said, then we talked about, I know Mr. O'Neill had mentioned, and I have to look at that form if it talks about the perjury part of it, because I look at this and I see 2-bedroom apartment and this 4-family getting 900, 1,200. Well, that doesn't get you a 1-bedroom in Fall River anymore. And it's just, and I know there's some, family situations, or you've had the little old lady living there for 30 years and, the rents are, an older, situation. I get that, but it is just, again, I'm in the business. I see it every day. And I really believe there's a lot of abuse there. And the 61As, which, we talked about a lot. And I'm actually talking to a drone company tomorrow. It's very inexpensive to send a drone company out there. And are they growing corn? Are they growing hay? Are they growing this? So that's a project that we've been working on. Those are the things that I think could be falling through the cracks. Like I said, if one property is under assessed, one's over assessed, somebody else is making up the difference so that the town's not losing any money. And there's only two ways to raise a tax rate. And I know it keeps being brought up that we lose certain kinds of funding. Your tax rate, get it up. Well, there's only 2 ways to do that. Lower values, which if you look at my page, we already have the lowest assessed values compared to those towns almost every year. And the other way is more spending. You have to spend more money and your tax rate can go up. It means override, debt exclusion. So that's
Kurt, last thing for me anyway, about the new growth, right? We've got a lot of projects in town that are coming on board. People want to know, how does that contribute to the overall tax base the first year and then going forward?
Well, the first year, like Jessica had mentioned before, I mean, if they're, partially built as of June, we can start taxing them. It starts out no different than a new home being built. We can tax them for the land. And then if, 60% completion, we can, we do that. Going forward, I mean, they'll be treated like all the other units. And I think the way they're handled and valued and taxed is, it makes no sense to me. Like I said, you get that property I mentioned that's assessed for $103,000 a unit. It's generating $2,500 in rent. if that's a 3-family house, they're getting, that's 3 of those. And they should be assessed at a lot more than $300,000, and they are. They're 2 families, 3 families, 4 families in town. And, in the cities, of course, New Bedford and Fall River have a lot more than we would on the multis,
But the growth for those types of add-ons and the new development goes right to the bottom line, correct?
yes,
It's
that's all new growth,
outside
like a new house, yeah, like a new house.
Proposition 2.5.
Yes, correct.
So people understand that new growth goes to the bottom line, and then we're restricted by 2.5 on the prior levy.
Right. Yeah, it's the levy plus the 2.5%, where that page is.
One last question, sorry.
No.
I thought I was done. Software. You're talking about the people in the department and what you're gonna need going forward as far as people. Are we keeping up on the software? Can we get any type of efficiency by using AI in any of the new programs that they have out now for assessing?
I haven't worked on any of that. Jessica, do you have any information on that?
No, I haven't. I mean, we work with Vision. That's our camera system. I haven't really looked into any AI to see if that would be, beneficial.
Maybe with you could work with our in-house IT in the town hall. We have an IT department, right? That would be the place to start.
Yeah, Cody and Gary might have seen
Yeah,
something.
Chris,
Yeah,
we've I've scheduled a few meetings with a couple different municipal AI companies, so we're investigating that. Probably more of a holistic approach rather than just for one department, but we're seeing more companies come out that are tailored to municipalities in the work that we do. So it's certainly something we're looking at, and I could see it helping us, within the next year or two.
Because it's not just about adding the people that we need and the payrolls that we need to get the job done. We got to try and find some kind of efficiencies that we can hopefully offset those additional costs, or maybe even go backwards at some point, which is, in my view, probably impossible these days. So.
Well, I really think that data collector position would more than pay for itself. We have the money in the budget. That's come up several times between the last couple of town administrators. Well, how come we don't have enough help? But there's money left over in the budget. So, and Mr. Haddad and Jessica can provide more numbers on that. I think it was, there was money. There's money there, and I think they will earn their weight. I mean, one number we saw by the time that I put in with Richard and Jessica this year on the, we talk about the commercials. So now these aren't the medians, but you got total commercial values increased by almost 8.5% this past year, and residential only 6%. That's kind of the first. Why? Because we took the time. We sat down. I learned what they're up against in the office. We sat down. We went through the I&Es that were from last year, and we worked them and found things that weren't right, and found apartments that weren't we don't have to use what somebody says they're charging for rent. We're allowed to use market rents if we want also. So we spent all extra time on that, and it paid dividends already. And that was just us in spending the more time. You need people to do that. So I just think that position would really help the office and the town, more importantly.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I don't think so. I thank both you, Kurt, and Kevin, who's also on screen, and certainly Jessica for preparing that presentation and working through your technical glitches. So I thank you for enduring.
Madam Chair, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea if we could grab that snippet. Maybe DCTV can grab that snippet of Jessica's presentation and throw it out there. People may be interested. There's a lot of questions online about assessments and taxes, fees, and
we can have our new communications manager. She's going to be working with several department heads to do snippets like this, and so she can certainly work with Jessica to work on that and get it.
Thank you.
Are we good?
Thanks, Jessica. Nice job.
Yes.
I hope that answered all the board's questions, and never hesitate to reach out. And my schedule is very flexible, and I plan to put a lot more time this year in the office. especially on these I&Es. That's the next project.
Oh, I do know that I was thinking back to when we used to get a good old fashioned newspaper, and folks that hadn't paid their taxes there was a big long list of who they were,
Sure.
and what they owed. Might be interesting to see who the I&Es are for those for those properties.
Right, right.
Yeah, I can send that over.
Thank you. We'll do some good old fashioned embarrassments. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
To our board, I'm going to move now into our motor vehicle license renewals. Remember that all are subject to police chief, fire chief, and the director of inspectional services approval. And although we're going to give any approvals tonight, they will be held until we are assured that the police, fire, and director of inspectional services has in fact approved everything for them. So running down the list, motor vehicle license renewals, motor vehicle class 2, Bliss Corner Auto Sales, Inc., Ritchie's Auto Sales. Motor vehicle class 3, Ritchie's Auto Sales.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve made by Mr. Mickelson, seconded by
Second.
Mr. O'Neill. If you are in favor, please respond at this point. Mr. Mickelson,
Yes.
Mr. McDonald,
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill,
Yes.
and Mrs. Brooks approves as well. Again, Mr. Haddad, you'll follow up with those. And now we move into the town administrator's update.
Heidi, just need, we missed the contract amendment for Deputy Chief Morency.
Oh, so sorry. Let me go back up. Item I in our packet, let me refer to where that is. Contract amendment for Victor Morency, page 123. If everyone would just pull that up. I know that there's a thought on this. Now, a little background. Victor Morency is our deputy chief. Typically, our deputy chiefs are exempt from
Details.
participating in private and public police details. We're looking at creating a contract with Lieutenant Deputy Chief Morency in order to enable him to do private duty details, not those for the town, but just private duty details. As we discussed, we are having difficulty getting folks for private duty and for details, and having one more body available to us may be helpful. I will draw your attention to that contract because it's not in this packet. It is page 23 in your executive board session is the packet. And we did want to add a notation here that should the deputy chief be called in to serve as the acting chief, that it would suspend his ability to work any of these private details, because as chief of police, that's a 24/7 position. So if we could just add that piece to this amendment to the Deputy Chief of Police Employment Agreement. Any questions?
Motion to agree with the proposal with the amendments included.
All right, seconded?
Second.
Second by Mr. McDonald. Are we ready to vote on that?
Mhm.
Yep, okay, so Mr. Mickelson,
Yes.
Mr. McDonald,
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes on that. Thank you for reminding me. I actually inadvertently had checked it off. All right, and now we'll go to the town administrator's report.
Very good, thank you, Madam Chair. So just a few quick things. Kudos to DPW facilities and school facilities team. We had a long storm They were out early, pre-treated the roads, and worked all throughout the night to get them pretty clear. And I think if you compare kind of Dartmouth as generally, we have a lot of road miles comparatively to our other communities, and they did a great job. So kudos to them. Appreciate it. It looks like school will be canceled again tomorrow to give them some more time to get facilities cleaned up, sidewalks cleared. So as a reminder to our residents, you want to make sure you get those sidewalks cleaned up in front of your homes and property that you own. Ms. Brooks mentioned that we attended the MMA conference. That was great. Got a lot of insightful information so that we can work towards progressing Dartmouth. Wanted to give an update on the Precinct 3 change of location. So after working with UMass Dartmouth leadership and the Chancellor's office, and specifically John Quinn, we were able to find a suitable alternative location to keep the voting location at UMass Dartmouth. It is different than it was last year, so the town clerk will be sending out notification cards, but it will still be at UMass Dartmouth. So appreciative of the board support there. Earlier this month, we held a training by the Operational Services Division with over 30 of our staff members to work on purchasing and procurement. With that, we are now using proper avenues to make purchasing and saving quite a bit of money. Give paper as one example. It reduced our paper cost by 50% just by going through kind of the avenue that the state OSD office showed us to utilize. So very helpful training in that sense. We held our first budget advisory group meeting a couple weeks ago. Next meeting is tomorrow. I will say, if you haven't had an opportunity to tune in and watch that, I've heard a lot of great feedback from community members that it was really insightful and it helped them to understand things a little bit more. So hopefully that continues. And then I will just end with, earlier this month, I marked my 6-month time period here as Dartmouth Town Administrator. It's been a great 6 months, and I'm very appreciative of the support of the community, the board, and the staff, and I look forward to hopefully a long tenure.
Happy 6 months.
Happy 6 months, and I second that. Yes, I also wanted to give out a shout out, following up on the DPW. There's been, of course, a lot of folks not happy, but we always hear the naysayers more than we hear the shout outs. If in fact your mailbox was damaged, please let the DPW know, and we will look into that as a repair or replacement. So have no fear. Other than that, I hope everyone understood the no parking ban. I know that there were cars that may have been plowed in because you were on the street. And yes, that means sometimes you have to park either on your grass or in a communal parking lot. This was, while I don't want to say unprecedented storm, we haven't had one pile this much on. And as Cody said, the school is canceled tomorrow. Yes, the roads are looking good, but the school buses travel roads that not all are looking good. There is some difficulty where to put the snow at this point when they're moving it around. So please keep that in mind. All right. Next is we have proposed town projects. We're going to be talking about that at our next meeting. Anything from our old business, Cody?
Yeah, just a 40B update. Wanted to share that the project proposed at the former Hawthorne Country Club has agreed to an extension into March. So we're continuing to put together potential conditions, draft permit, and working through that. The next meeting for that project is February 12th. The next meeting for the Hathaway Road project is March 2nd. We're working on finalizing those peer review proposals, and we will have that peer review on board. The last thing I want to mention about 40B is we've got a ton of outreach about this safe harbor in the town. The town maybe not taking advantage of exercising its safe harbor right. I just want to assure residents, I've got probably 75 emails. I tried to respond to as many of them as I could. We have looked into every single possibility. We have spent countless hours. We have calculated our total land area that have exemptions to see if we've met the 1.5%. We have literally looked at every single safe harbor possible. If it were possible, we would be exercising the safe harbor. So I get it's frustrating, but I just want our residents to at least feel assured that we've looked into this. We started looking into this before we even got a single one of these applications, and unfortunately, we're not there. We don't have any of the criteria that meet the safe harbor. And that's kind of where we stand. If these go through, if any of them go through, we feel like we will have potentially that safe harbor that would buy us some time. But at this time, it's just not there. And that is it. No new updates on Bliss Corner, Lake Nokichoke, or municipal broadband.
Okay, thank you. We do have 2 minutes, 2 dates of minutes to review. The first is on December 15th. This one, Mr. McDonald attended remotely. That's found on page 135 in your packet. And this is where the initial assessor's presentation was included.
Motion to approve.
Motion made by Mr. McDonald,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Mickelson. Any questions? Okay, let's vote in favor of accepting these minutes. Mr. Mickelson,
Yes.
Mr. McDonald,
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. Our next set of minutes, sorry, I'm zooming down as quickly as I can, is for our meeting that we had on Monday, January 5th, and Mr. McDonald was absent from that meeting. That meeting starts on page 146. I looked through this one and
Motion made to approve and
I
file.
don't see any issues. Motion made by Mr. O'Neill, seconded by
Second.
Mr. Mickelson. All right, again, we will go around in favor of accepting these minutes. Mr. O'Neill,
Yes.
Mr. Mickelson,
Yes.
Mr. McDonald,
Thank.
abstain, and myself, I will accept. So that's 3 in favor with 1 abstention. All right, next we have select board updates. Mr. O'Neill,
I'll pass.
okay. Mr. Mickelson,
Yes.
Mr. McDonald,
Yeah, I just want to if we can send out a reminder to the businesses and the people along Route 6, especially with the walkways, that, they need to be cleared, because I know we have a lot of walkers coming from the inns and the motels to Walmart. And those areas need to be cleared off. I don't want to get into the fining aspect of it,
right?
but they need to do something, and there's a lot of the businesses don't. So.
Yep, we'll send that out. Jessica and I already spoke. She's going to be posting something on our pages too about the responsibility.
All right, which leaves me. All I have for tonight is, and I was remiss not to bring this up at our first meeting, but if anyone has received the Dartmouth Council on Aging January 2026 newsletter, on the front page, Dartmouth, our town's awkward work family photos, your New Year's smile. And yes, it did cause a smile. I don't know who came up with the idea. Cody, could you tell us a little bit more of how this was? I'm going to try to unblur myself so maybe I can get it to see.
Yeah, so we've been trying to do more collaborative and kind of cross department efforts, and so we did a door decorating contest. You may recall during Halloween, and Amy and Angela over at the COA came up with this idea to do for the holiday season for the New Year's, and so yeah, it was a great idea that the COA put together, and we had a few departments take part in this great activity. So cool to see everyone get involved.
It was very cute. Council on Aging has that, and everybody will know the Olin Mills floating head pictures. That was hysterical. Our office, Cody and his gang of not so merry men, look like a bunch of thugs. Anyway, it was very cute, and I just wanted to give them a shout out. That is all.
Heidi, quickly.
Yes.
Did we talk about the schools last time and the visits that we made? I can't remember.
No, you're right, Chris. No, we missed that. Yeah.
No, so let's do it.
So that was January 15th.
Right, it was after that meeting.
That was the one that we went to the high school, correct? Oh, no, we did both. We did
And
We
middle
went to
one
the
day.
high school and middle school.
So we did the high school and the middle school, listened to the school, certain school committee members, the administration. We had a chance to spend basically the morning in both the high school and the middle school, looking at the different issues that they're up against in each building, and trying to get a bead on exactly what it would look like and what the concepts would be for making changes to actual physical buildings in the town. So the
And
work's
yeah,
done.
thank you, Chris, for bringing that up because it was very informative. We did have members in addition to the select board, but also the finance committee, school committee, as well as the head of maintenance for the schools, and they were able to point out some of the difficulties they're having in both the high school and middle school due to wear and tear and other stuff. That was great background for those members on the BAG, the Budget Advisory Group. And we're talking about potentially doing another visit out to our wastewater treatment plant so that folks who have never seen that, we'd like the school department, FinCom, BAG, select board members who haven't gone on that tour to go out and visit the treatment plant so we can see the concerns as we're looking at long-term planning and long-term project funding. So that will be something we're discussing in the near future as well.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Mr. McDonald, seconded by
Second.
Mr. Mickelson. Our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, February 9th.
All right.
Until then, stay warm and safe. Motion has been made in favor. Mr. Mickelson?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes, be careful of the storm next weekend too.
Oh, gosh. Mr. O'Neill?
Yes. And it's
And
snowing
myself.
again.
Stay
And
safe.
it's snowing, yes, it is snowing now.
Thank you all for joining us.
One of
Oh,
those
and
last things.
we are open tomorrow. So the schools are
Awesome.
closed, but town facilities are open. COA programming is closed, and their transportation services are closed, but all other facilities will be open as usual.
Thank you. And if you're a member of the BAG, we'll see you at 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
at the town hall.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Congratulations, Pat.
Mr. Mickelson?
Yeah, yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill has adjourned himself and Mrs. Brooks votes yes. Bye. Good night.